Okay, this video is going to walk you through how to use Google Sites. Now, when you do go to sites, when you type in sites.google.com, you'll see here it says /new, and you can go back here to the classic sites. So if it opens up to the classic sites, you just want to click this button on the left that says New Google Sites. It's a much better system than the old one. Alright, so now that we're in Sites, down the bottom right we have a plus. Let's create a new one. So once it loads, you want to go up here, give your site a title. Let's call this one Test 1, and then it appears here as well as your site name. You then have your page. This is just the page you're on. So if I want to call this my home page possibly, you can then over here change the image quite easily. You can upload or select an image. You're going to select one to make it easier and faster. Okay, now you can change that image anytime you like or reset it. Here you can also change the header type. So when I click here, I can have a whole cover image that goes at the front. I can have a large banner. I can have a normal size banner, which is what I had. Or I could just have the title only and then there's no image behind it. I'm going to keep the banner one because I quite like having pictures on things. It also means if you happen to be building a site that you want to share on social media, having these kinds of images is really helpful because your Facebook and stuff will automatically pick them up. Okay, now onto my website. On this page, when I actually create the page, you can start if you want by choosing a layout. So I might want a picture and some text, or 2 images with text underneath them, a bunch of images. You can pick any of these, or you can just make it up yourself. I tend to make most of them up myself. At the top here you'll see 4 things. So I can insert a text box, insert some images. I can find something from Drive and embed it. So that could be a Google Doc, it could be a Google slide, it could be anything. Or I can embed something if I want to as well. If I scroll down on the right hand side, I can put in some collapsible text, which means that people can press a button and it'll shrink. I can put tables of contents in. I can put an image carousel. That means that the images will rotate through which one's at the front and which ones are behind. You can put in buttons, dividers. You can do a cloud search in here. You can put YouTube videos straight in. You can embed your calendar if you would like to. You can put in a Google Map to find where you are, or if you have a particular Google My Maps, you could embed that as well. So these are your docs, slides, sheets, forms, and charts. Charts is really cool, and I'll show you some of those in just a minute. Another way you can add things is just to double click, and that will bring up the top 4, which are your images, your upload, your things from the file, or to embed something, and in the middle is your text. So let's just put in some text, just say, welcome to Test 1, we are awesome. Right, and then once that's there, you can obviously change whether it's a title, so it gets bigger, a heading, a subheading, or if it's just a plain text. Now, other things you can do on the left here is you can see I can make the background different, so I put an image in the background. I can make some emphasis, or I can change the type of emphasis and do it this way, so you just see it's a lighter, a darker color here, or I can delete this whole section. Also, once I select it, I can decide how far across it goes. And so if I say we are awesome, I can then click over here and put an image in. Now here I can search by URL, or I can just search Google, and let's say I want a frog, just because I like to use frogs all the time for some reason. Select the frog and insert that image, and you'll see it put it next to the text. Now, you'll also notice that these have these dots at the top, and they're highlighted. If you grab those dots, it means that you can drag it around, and so I can create a whole new section underneath here, and it's no longer part of that. Down the bottom, it says to add a footer. So if you want to add a footer, you can do that, and obviously you can change this for how big it is in terms of your footer. So just say hi. Again, double click, you can put images and everything else in your footer as well, but your footer goes across the whole site. So whatever you put there will be on every single page. This is just what you're putting on the page. If you go to pages, you only have the home page at the moment. At the bottom there's a plus sign, so let's put in a new page. So we can call this page U11. PDHPE. Okay, click done. And so now here's a page for my U11 PDHPE class. You can see my footer is automatically in there. It still says test at the top. It's still kept this, but you'll now see that I've got a larger menu up here. So this here is actually going to be my menu. So if I click here to add new pages, it will always add it at the menu level, and it will just continue to expand up there. But another way you can add them is if I go to the home page, I can click here and I can add a sub page. Now let's go to U11 and add a sub page. And let's say that a sub page is going to be better health for individuals, which is one of the topics in PDH. And so you'll then see that actually comes as a sub page here. It's not at the same level. And now if I go up here, it's got a little drop down button so that when I go there, I can actually click to that page or go to the U11 PDH page. Now here, go back up here to the insert. I can drag across my layout that I might like, and so click the plus and you can just select your images. You can put your YouTube clip in. So if I click that, I can then just search YouTube for just PDHPE, and here's a bunch of videos about PDHPE that you may or may not like. And let's say I just wanted to use this one, insert that, and so then the video gets automatically embedded into my page. For those of you who have YouTube is blocked, this may work for you in terms of a workaround. I can't guarantee it, but sometimes it does. Otherwise, something like Edpuzzle might work for you as a workaround as well. Click here to add the title, so health promotion, and then down here you can click and add some text. So you might give some instructions. Watch the video and complete the form below. Okay, so now I'm just going to embed a Google form. Click here, click on my test form and insert it, and it will appear just here. The only thing you do need to make sure of when you're entering in forms like this is, one, you won't be able to embed it if you have a file that you want to upload into it. So if the kids are submitting an assignment to you or a PDF or something, what it will do is provide them a button to click to go to the form where they'll then upload everything, because they can't upload it as an embed. And the other thing you need to do is just make sure in your settings for Google Forms you have not restricted the access to the form so that the kids who you want to access the form can't see it. So if you're sending this to parents, you want it so that anyone can access and complete the form. If you're sending this just for your class, you want to just make sure the form is at least shared with or viewable to your class, and not, so you can restrict it to your domain name essentially for your class, but if you're sending it publicly, you have to undo that tick on the test form. Now the other thing I said was really cool to show is inserting charts. Now the real question is whether or not I have a spreadsheet with a chart. Okay, so I'm going to insert a chart here, and so in this spreadsheet, that's the chart that's within the spreadsheet it's found. If there's more than one chart, it'll have a whole bunch of them here. You just select the one you want, click add, and then it will insert the chart from the spreadsheet for you into your Google site. But they'll be linked to, so whenever something changes in the spreadsheet, it will automatically change over here. So that's just a whole bunch of the things that you can insert and how you can create stuff. You can go here to themes. You can quickly change your theme if you want, just to change your color coding or the type of fonts and all those types of things. It's fairly basic. Up here though, when it comes to your actual site, the three buttons here give you your site analytics, so you can see how often people have visited your site. You can duplicate the site. You can add a favicon, and your favicon is the image that will appear in the top left here, and also then appear at the top on your site. So you can just add an image for that. You can get site information settings. So if I click there, show the page last updated time and show contact form, I can change those settings in there. And then you can report a problem, you can get some help, or you can take a tour of sites if you want to by clicking that button. You can preview your site. You can get the link, but you can only get the link once it's actually published. I can add collaborators. So here is my sharing of the site. And when I share with others, there we go. So when I publish it, anyone at Teachers PD can find and view it. Okay, but if I actually want people to edit it, so you see this edit button, so just put in their email addresses for sharing and stuff. So they can either view the publish or can edit. So I can limit who can view this site to my students' parents, for example. I can limit it to just the teachers and the students at the school. I can limit it to just the class that I'm currently teaching or anything like that. And then in terms of who can edit it, I could give lots of people access to edit, or I can just give a few. If you do choose to let your students edit, just click this button here that says prevent editors from publishing and changing access and adding new people. So I don't want students to then add other students and give them access. So if you want to change this publish setting, just click here for change, click save, whatever you need there. And finally, click publish. And once you publish, it'll come up and say this is what your site's going to be called, test 1. It'll look like this. So sites.google.com/ so yours will have like the Department of Education, so education.newsouthwales.edu.au, or your school's URL there, and then your own one here. Who can view my site? You can change that there, and then just click publish, and then everyone can see this site. And that's all I need to show you with Google Sites. From there, really, it's just about playing around and sticking things in. Sticking, any of these things in is really quite simple. You just press the button and drag it in, and then you can play around with it. So I hope that was helpful. Make it so at least that you can use the app, and then I'll chat to you in just a moment about how we actually use this in the classroom with our students.